Okay, we're sharing the screen. Stop sharing real quick and make sure the record button's on. Yep. Okay, looks like we're ready to roll here. Get my screen back up here. So I'm going to minimize the chat so I can see all my slides and stuff here. I'll bring it back up from time to time, see if anybody's got any comments. I was going to do this kind of ad hoc, but I thought maybe I should make myself some slides to kind of keep myself on track because I tend to go down some rabbit holes every now and then. But I've got a lot of information in the slides, plus I'll talk over the slides quite a bit for you. I've got a question and answer period at the end, and then we'll go from there. So basically, I put together this because people have been asking me how to get more opens and clicks and sales from their email list. And this really works with your own product, with affiliate products, MLM offers, or anything else that you're trying to sell. So let's take a look. I've divided the presentation up. Let me move my face out of the way here. I've divided the presentation up into 4 or 5 categories. I call this one external. This is things you can do before you ever send an email. And the first one, first of all, the reason I talk so much about email is it's really the backbone of all of your sales funnels, your sales processes, your communication with your clients. It's not the only way, but it's the most long-lasting and most reliable way that you can contact your prospects and either send them more information, send them a sales letter, send them over to watch a video, whatever you want to do. So email is just vitally important to everybody's sales process, and few people exploit it to the maximum that you can. I mean, if you think about how many emails you saw from me just to get you to come to this free webinar, I think I sent 3 or 4 today. I sent one on Wednesday, one on Monday, and then 1 or 2 the weekend before, just to let you know what's going on, when it's going to be, and those kind of things, and give you a little more information about what I was putting in the bonus package and all those kind of things. But you can see how many times an email has to come to get people to take an action. So let's talk about the external things here. First of all, real person, what does that mean? You need to be able to send your email from yourself. Don't send it from a business. Don't send it from a funny name or a dog or anything like that. Use your personal name, your first name and last name. And number 2 here goes right with that. Use your own domain. My domain is submarineguy.com. So you see me sending from fred@submarineguy.com. And that's not because I'm vain or anything, but I want to differentiate myself from people who use free email addresses. And the reason I want to do that is because that's what all the spammers do. I'm not saying you're going to be a spammer by sending emails by any stretch, but the Gmail and Yahoo and Hotmail owners don't know the difference between you and the spammer if you're sending a lot of email and a spammer's sending a lot of email, because you're both using a free service, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, those kind of things that you don't have to pay for. And the spammers just use them until they get caught or accused of something and throw them away and get a new one, right? So you don't want to be caught in that arena. So you've got to have your own personal domain. Like I've got submarineguy.com, I've got fredrailey.com, I've got a few more, and send your emails from that domain, from that address. You can do that with your autoresponder. You can do that with Gmail, those kind of things, or with a GMAS, which is a domain-based sender based on the Gmail platform. So I encourage everybody to get their own domain. That's a URL or a website address on which you can base your personal email. okay? Uh, Third, and almost more important, is the subject line. If a person is not interested in your subject line, they'll never see anything else inside your email. So I was talking to a Yahoo sort of master guy the other day. He's got like 1.8 million subscribers on his Yahoo, or on his YouTube account, I'm sorry. And he um, he said he spends more time on the thumbnail, which is the piece of graphic that you put in front of your video that shows up first. He said, I spend more time creating the thumbnail and the intro than anything else. He said a close second is the content of my video, but my philosophy is, which is just what I was saying, if they don't get past the intro with interest, then they're never going to see the content. So you've got to spend a lot of time on your subject line for an email, in our case, or even for a subject line for a blog article, or a subject line for an article that you're posting on social media somewhere, things like that, to entice your victim, to make them curious, to say, hey, that sounds interesting, I better read this, or I better click here. Or maybe it's a promise, maybe it's so if you're in the weight loss business, maybe it's lose weight in 30 days without going to the gym, or something like that. You got to get some curiosity sparked in your prospect to get them to move past the first click, okay? And I put here, right here, get 300 words, ... That's I have a lead magnet called 300 power words and phrases that you can use to come up with good words to say in your subject line. I also added a lot of headline, I forgot the word, headline masters that you can use to create good headlines. Like the one I talked about on the subject, the weight loss thing, lose 30 pounds in 30 days without going to the gym, lose X without Y, right? Big promise, big thing they don't want to do next. And those are the kind of things that you want to get in place. So you don't have to worry about the link here. You can't click through the video, obviously, but in the bonus section that I've got, and I'll give you a link to that at the end, I've got a link where you can get my 300 words document and get all those subject line words and also the 300 words. There's also some spam words in there that you want to avoid. And then there's a little section of fun words that you'll probably never see anyway, that's I included just for a smile or two. But the importance here on number 3, the subject line, spend a lot of time on your subject line to make sure your prospect will be interested enough to open it up and find out what's next. Number 4, you know what these little graphics are here, the little blue arrows in my case, or smiley faces and things like that? They're called emojis, or some people call them icons, and they're really good for getting people's attention. So I recommend you use those in your subject line. If you noticed, I probably used them in a bunch of mine. Usually I use these arrows. Sometimes I use, let me show you where you get them from here. There's a site called getamoji.com, and it's got all the smiley faces. It's got people, jobs, hands going left and right. It's got, let's see, down below all these people ones, it's got a bunch of animals and plants and stuff, 4-leaf clovers, palm trees, Christmas trees, all kind of stuff, fruits, vegetables, sports. And all you have to do to use these is, if you want to use this little swimmer here, you just highlight it and copy it. And then you can put it in a Word document. You can use them on Facebook. You can use them in YouTube comment places where you put all your links and stuff. And they just help to brighten up and draw attention to the words that you're putting on paper. So I encourage you to use these. They're free, they're easy to get. They work, they work just like letters in that you can make them large or small using the, just like the word size buttons to go just right along with the size of your font. So use emojis especially in your subject line. I also mentioned it in the next page for inside your document too. So that's the external part. Come from a real person's name, your own personal domain, fred@submarineguy.com, for instance. Importance of the subject line, and use icons for emphasis and to get people looking at your stuff. So the next page is talking about the inside of the email. And I think one of the most important things here is this statistic that I pulled off of Aweber that says 74% of marketers say that targeted personalization increases customer engagement. Now there's another side of the argument there. People think that if you customize an email and you're doing a mass email, that it's really not very personalized. But nonetheless, I still believe that if a person reads their name in an email, as you know, dear Fred, dear George, dear John, whatever, and where appropriate, where you might use it as in subject line or talk, the way you might use a person's name, I think it's still important, and it increases the reader's closeness or personalization to the subject. The second thing here is repeat the subject line. And sometimes I just repeat the subject line verbatim, but it kind of goes with number 3, which is single focus. You really need to keep your email short and to the point, and just have one focus for what they're about. And we'll talk about some more later about the way you can structure the words in your email. But if you try to put too many things, you know, too many offers, too many calls to actions, too many statistics, for instance, things like that, you tend to lose your reader, because readers these days are looking for quick solutions or quick read or a short video, things like that. So they don't want to go through multiple things. They're going to know if your topic is important from what you have in the subject line. Then when they get inside your email, they want to know exactly what they're going to get out of it, you know, what's in it for me. And that's going to be the single focus of your email. Again, number 4 here, use emojis. You can also use highlighting, which is this yellow background, or bolding or underline or indenting for just to show or draw a person's attention to the highlighted part of the emoji, so that you make sure that they read it. For instance, on the call to action or so. And you can see there's some more of the clovers, a little anchor. Is good for me as a submariner kind of thing. But bottom line is personalization, I think, is important. Use the person's first name, especially in the salutation. Repeat the subject line, or at least the subject of the subject line, and have it be the single focus of your email. So again, a little more on inside. Now, this is kind of boring, and if you've been around marketing very long, you've probably heard this a lot, but the AIDA formula, attention, interest, desire, and action, is a good way to sort of lay out your emails to keep them focused on the single topic, okay? The attention part, we've already talked about. That's in our case, in an email's case, it's the subject line. Could be a headline of an article or something like that. Needs to draw the attention of the reader and grab them to say, yep, I need to know more about this. The interest part is to kind of stir the pot of the pain point part of the attention grabber. So if in the case of weight loss, you might say something about, you know, are you tired of dragging around all that baby fat past the 9-month point? Or are you tired of having love handles hanging over your shorts right before beach season or something like that? You sort of have to drive, drill home the point that they're fat, they need to do something about it, nothing that they've done worked, and that kind of thing. And then into the desire, you change your focus to, what if you took my advice and you got rid of those love handles, that baby fat? Wouldn't it be great if your husband looked at you with desire all the time? Wouldn't it be great if guys were oogling you left and right at the beach? I mean, those are things that go along with weight loss, but you get the idea. Is on the interest part, you sort of drill, poke into them to how bad it is of what they got now. And then the desire part is how great it would be if they implement the fix in the future and all that bad stuff goes away. So, and then the action is to go do something. Click a link, buy now, get this special offer, watch this video, go to the next page to read about the solution, whatever it is. But it's got to be specific and concise and exact to tell the reader exactly what to do when. Click here now to go to the next page. Click here now to read the solution. Click here now to buy one, get one free, whatever it is. So the action has to be very specifically aligned, obviously, to the whole single focus of the email. So ADA, I know it's kind of a boring topic, but if you keep this in the front of your mind or in the back of your mind or written down on a 3x5 card somewhere, it'll help organize your emails so that you can sort of write them in this way. And once you get good at writing the attention part to get your email open, the interest part and desire come next. You can sort of, stir the pot with the interest, give the vision with the desire, and then tell them to go do something to get that action going. And I think it's a good formula. There's also, if you Google AIDA, AIDA, you'll find there's some other formulas that add another line into it. I forget what it is. There's some other formulas out there for writing good articles, good emails, good writing. But I mean, frankly, if you can follow this simple AIDA formula, you will do well. And it's something that'll keep you aligned to writing good copy. So I think this is the last thing on Inside. I wanted to talk about knowing your audience. We talked about driving home their pain points. Well, the only way you know their pain points is if you've already targeted your emails and your subject lines to a specific niche. And the ones that are biggest in online marketing are make money online. Those include affiliate offers, affiliate sales, MLM, product, make money online products, how-to products, things like that. Number 2 is love and dating and relationship fixing and get your ex back and that kind of stuff. That's not for me. I stay away from that. But it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, so there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for me. And then the third one is personal improvement, which includes the personal kind of weight loss, skincare, that kind of stuff, and also the mental kinds of things like positive thinking, self-improvement, learning new skills, and that sort of thing. So if you can target one of those niches and maybe even further down into make money online, down to like I target affiliate sales, then you know what kind of customer you're looking for. And you can say, okay, if this customer is interested in weight loss, then I know he either got a problem with maintaining too much weight, or he's looking too bad because it's in the wrong places. And those are the things I can talk about to sort of talk about what they say, to make sure you can join the conversation in your prospect's head, right? If you can join the conversation in your prospect's head and talk about his pain points the way he does, then you'll be more able to relate to him or her on a solution for those kind of problems. I do the same thing with affiliate sales, right? My target market generally doesn't know how to attract leads. They don't know how to send emails. They don't know what to say in emails. They don't know how to send emails. They don't know where to find new prospects, those kind of things. And so I target my lead capture pages to solve those problems, or to show how I can help him solve those problems. Therefore, I get them on my email list. And then from there, they can learn to get to know me because I do videos, I write a lot, email a lot, so I'm in their face a lot, so to speak. And then hopefully they'll like me. If they don't like me, they'll unsubscribe. We won't have any more discussion about it. And then if they trust me enough after all that, then that's the point at which you want them to get so that they'll start buying your stuff. And it could be, you know, any of those things I mentioned early on, product sales, services, buying your services of coaching, for instance, those kind of things. So think about what niche you want to target in what, if you're already got a product line, then what niche is it most targeted toward, and think in terms of what that prospect has going through his mind. What are his main problems that your product or service would fix? And that's the way you need to talk to him. So that's, I think, the end of the inside stuff. Let's talk about the system. And what I mean by the system, well, first of all, to send an email, it's best if you have an automated system like an autoresponder or GMass or some way to send high numbers of email legally that you don't have to send one by one, okay? So an autoresponder serves those purposes, and it allows you to send the email at the best time. Now, I took a long time figuring out what my best time was for my readers. And I did that by sending emails for a week or so. I'd send them early in the morning on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then the next week I'd send them like right after lunch, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then the next week I might send them in the evening around supper time, or, you know, around 6 o'clock. And then I think I tried like 8:30 one time. And I looked at the open rates on each one of those, and I found out that for my prospects, their best time to open an email, most emails were opened early in the morning, or in the morning, around somewhere between 8 and 10 or 11 o'clock before lunch. But that'll vary depending on your prospect types, depending on their lifestyle and those sorts of things. You know, if you're targeting women at home with young kids, it might be during kids' nap time that they're available to talk or to look at their email and things like that. So you have to consider a lot of those things for your target market. The second part is track your opens. There's a number of ways that you can track your opens, but in Aweber, my autoresponder, they have a tag that you can apply to a prospect, which is just a piece of data that's attached to the prospect that says, George opened this email on this date at this time. And basically that tells me two things. One, George is an interested prospect because he liked the subject line, so he opened my email. And two, that he actually opened it, right? And I can look at George's record and see if he's opened numerous different types of emails. And I can also look across my list to see how many people have actually opened this email versus the last one, versus the last one, versus the last one, and kind of keep track of what my open rates are. And see, that way you can tell which of your subject lines are the best and things, or which topics are the best and things like that. The other reason you want to track opens is there's also a feature in Aweber, and I assume in most other autoresponders, where you can track a term. You could use a search term like no opens since January 1st, 2019, for instance. And what that means is nobody's opened an email since January 1st, 2019. And for the reason you want to track that kind of open statistic is for people that hadn't opened your email in 6 months or more, they're probably not going to open an email again, right? They're either it's either going in their spam filter and they never see it, or they've decided they don't like you and they made a rule to put you in the delete file, but they just didn't tell you, or the email, is the guy's never reading his email, kind of thing. And knowing that, you can delete those prospects who have not opened an email in the last 6 months, for instance. That's kind of the statistic I use. And what that does is it increases your open rate because you've got less total prospects and the same number of good ones are opening, so therefore the percentage is higher. And the reason that's important, I know this is getting kind of technical, but the reason you want a high open rate is so that the email senders, like in my case, submarineguy.com, my host for submarineguy.com, he sees me sending a lot of emails that gets opened. He thinks, Fred, everybody likes what Fred's sending. Let's make sure we keep him, spam free and not let anything bad happen to his account. The lower your open rate, the less the system senders want to help you. So you want your open rate to be as high as possible. The way you do that is get rid of the people that never open your email, and that'll make that percentage go up. I know that's a little, I'll probably get some questions about that because it's a little tricky concept to grab a hold of. Number 3, re-email. That's probably not the best word. I don't think that's in the dictionary, but what I mean there is send your email again. For instance, I send email on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. Frequently, I'll send the Monday email again on Wednesday to the people that didn't open it on Monday, okay? So it gets back to now how do I know if they opened it or not, right? I look at the statistic that says the Monday's email was opened by 234 people, and so I make a segment of my list of the others that didn't open it, and I send to those on Wednesday. And I basically, I use the same subject line, but I say, did you miss this? Or resending for George, it was, one last chance or whatever. And here's the statistic that I've proven over and over again. If I get 100 opens on an email on Monday, I can send to the non-openers on Wednesday, and I'll get another 50% opens on those. So if I got 100 on Monday, I'll get another 50 on Wednesday. I've tried it again on Friday, and the percentage is pretty low on the third send. But if I send a second email to the non-openers, I'll get another 50% of the original amount opening it up. So in my case, I usually get around 300 openers on the first email and 150 on the second one. That's a huge, huge number to get past your subject line. And think about it, there's probably 100 reasons that somebody doesn't open your email, even if they thought they like the subject line. It happens to me all the time. I'm on so many people's email lists, I frequently delete ones that I probably should have read, okay? And I try to track them and leave them, not read and that kind of thing. But a lot of times I forget about it, and then my email scrolls down because I got so many emails coming in, even though I delete a lot of them. If you're on the second page, I'm not going to see it again unless you re-emailed me again, okay? So re-emailing or emailing again on the same subject line, same topic, same email is a good thing to do. I've never got a complaint about it because people, I guess, are willing to accept it. They're kind of, given up to the fact that their email's overloaded. The other one I've used, number 4, a couple of times on Fridays is One Last Chance. I've used that when it's the last day of a promotion or things like that. That's the best 3 words to get a number of new opens on an email. So take that one as a last resort kind of thing. The last thing is in your on this system idea is be consistent. And I'll tell you a story. When I first started emailing intentionally, I'll say, with a plan, I emailed once a week because I was kind of like most people. I didn't know what to say more than once a week. Then as I learned things and was able to teach and train people, I would email them maybe Monday and Thursday, twice a week. And I did that for, I don't know, maybe 6 months. And then I got into well, look, I'm getting pretty good at this. People are liking my emails. I was really patting myself on the back. So I started emailing every day. And what I do is I would set up 3 emails on Sunday and set them out to go Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'd write the Thursday and Friday emails so that they would be set up. And believe me, that was a lot of work. That was a lot of work. The reason I did that is I knew a guy one time that sent 2 emails a day every day. He would send the first one in the morning, and it would generally be what's happening around the house, what's happening with the kids, what's happening with the dogs. And I used to call those his Seinfeld emails. Jerry Seinfeld had this program called Seinfeld on TV, and all the storylines were just him and his buddies in his apartment or her apartment or the other guy's apartment or going to the store. They weren't anything outstanding. They were just funny people talking to other funny people, right? Well, that's kind of what this guy's emails were like. But you got to reading them. You got kind of interested in his dogs or in his family and that kind of thing. And then every afternoon, about 4 o'clock, he'd send a sales email. And he was selling some system or whatever it was, right? And you got used to seeing his email, so you click on that one. You'd do that one too. Now, for some reason, I guess the guy made enough money and he quit emailing because he stopped after a couple of years. But I still had that in my mind. And that's why I thought I could email every day. After about 4 months of emailing every day, I was burned out. So I went to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that works much better. Even if you don't have something new for Wednesday, you can remail for Wednesday, remail your Monday email to Wednesday, and then either do it again on Friday or mail something new on Friday. But if I think about it ahead of time enough, coming up with 3 topics to email my list about affiliate marketing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is pretty easy. I also do sales promos on the weekend. Number one, people are more attentive to their email on weekends, early in the morning, late in the evening kind of things. And 2, that's when a lot of people are looking for something to do in the make money online world. So it's a good time to do a sales. And in that case, I do either 4 or 6 emails over Saturday, Sunday. I do Saturday morning, Saturday noon, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, Sunday noon, Sunday evening, or I skip the noon one sometimes and just do 2 and 2. But again, people on my list are used to that and don't mind that and accept that. And I've made sales over the weekends of $500, $450, $80. I mean, people are buying, so I keep emailing. But the point is, be consistent so that your readers know what to expect and know that if you're going to be sending something, it'll be good because you're writing good subject lines now. Okay, let me get a drink of water here. So how often is too much? I sort of talked about that a little bit. But the other side of this, how much is too much, is the statistic here that 80% of all sales are made between the 5th and the 12th contact. And that number may be as high as the 20th or the 25th contact. And what do I mean by contact? Well, in our case, email. Or you can also contact them on the phone, or you could contact them via Skype or social media, or you could send them via email, you could send them a video or an audio. But each one of those counts as a contact so that you're in the face or in front of the prospect with your offer or a similar offer, okay? So, and that's a high number. 80% of all sales are after the 5th contact. Most people that I've seen in the online world will not send more than 1 or 2 emails or make more than 1 or 2 phone calls. Phone callers rarely make more than 1 or 1 or 2 texts. But think if you made 5 or more, you could be up in the 80% category where all sales are made. So you've got to be consistent, and the only way that you can reasonably do this is with an electronic system like an autoresponder. You've got to be able to program your autoresponder out for, I usually put at least 12 and probably as many as 20 emails in a sales sequence when I'm marketing with my autoresponder. And the emails are going out after a person opts in, after he gets on my email list, after he's looked at my subject lines, etc. And depend on that email to drive him to more info, to either a blog post or a website for sales page, or to a video on YouTube or Vimeo or somewhere like that. So keep that statistic in your mind. 80% of all sales are made after the 5th contact, and figure out how you're going to do that in your sales process. And obviously, I recommend Autoresponder. How much is normal? How much emailing is normal? I talked about that. My normal for my list is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and some 2 on 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday if I'm doing the sales process. My normal for an email promo, like I told you, is either 2 a day for 2 or 3 days, or 3 a day. And you saw my webinar promo. For my webinar promo, I had 2 a week before, Monday, Wednesday, the week of, and then 3. Did I do 3 or 4 today? I've done 3 already, and there's 1 coming out at 8:30 to give you your bonus, okay? So that's my webinar promo sequence. An affiliate sale, sort of the same as an email, depends on what assets you have at hand that you could present as in your email. I kind of consider affiliate sales as part of the email. But think again, back to number 1. I can't emphasize enough that emailing, letting your autoresponder take care of that 5th to the 12th contact has got to be part of your sales sequence, or you're going to kill yourself with follow-up. So what have we talked about? We talked about things sort of get done ahead of time, get your own domain, learn how to write good subject line, use those icons, those emojis, right? On the inside of the email, use personalization, single focus of an email. You don't want too many things in there to draw away from your main focus. Again, use emojis to add some highlight. Use the AIDA formula, attention, interest, desire, and action. Make a specific call to action. And make sure you know what niche you're in. I called it here the right niche. It's got to be right for you, right? And then the system, what time, re-emailing, and the consistency factors. And again, this 80% rule. I even bolded it here. You need to memorize that one so that you could spit it out at a moment's notice and design all your systems around that. So let me get rid of my screen share here. Figure out how to do that stop share. And I can bring up the chat. Where are we here? Chat. Oh, there we go. Thanks, George. I appreciate it. So anybody got any questions that they can ask? I think I've enabled everybody's microphone if you want to talk, or you could just type down here in the message block of the chat. You can also select either all panelists or all panelists and attendees. Select all panelists and attendees so that everybody can see what you're typing there. All right, I think I've got everybody unmuted now. Try, if you tried to say something, try again. All right, well, I'll tell you what, that's about all I had. I do have one more slide here, and that is the bonus slide. This is the domain, my domain again, submarineguy.com. If you go to /bonus with a capital B, don't go there before the end of the webinar because it won't be active, but right after the webinar, this site will be live and you'll be able to find your bonuses there. I've got some really outstanding bonuses. I prevailed on one of my buddies to give you 80 clicks to your domain, whatever you want. And these are high-end, top quality clicks. He normally sells, I'm sorry, it's 100 clicks for 80 bucks. I always get those backwards. It's 100 clicks for 80 bucks. He's not going to charge you anything for it. You can get the 100 clicks for free if you watch a couple of videos. That's the best deal I got. My 300 words document is there. I've got a special video to show you how to pull some easy leads off of Facebook every day. I got a video for that. I've also got a checklist for you to design an email marketing and sales campaign that is free. You can pull down right there. So go over right after the webinar is done here. At 8:30, an email will come out with this link in it. And by that time, it'll be live and you can go over and grab your bonuses. Again, if you've got any questions or comments from the webinar, please send them to me, Fred at submarineguy.com. I'll answer you personally. I may answer it as a group as well, just so everybody can get the answer if it's something that's widespread. But I would like to get any feedback. Did I talk too fast? Did I talk too slow? Was the topic too boring? Did I not say enough about this or too much about that? Anything, anything you want to comment about is fine. So one more round for any questions or comments here before we sign off. All right, I'm going to call it a day. Stop my recording. See if I can do that.